I'm an unknown artist who invented a new art genre, sci-fi folk art.
My ship set sail to Bluebird Island, and so we drifted out to sea.
Now I'm drawing, what I'm calling here is sunset on Bluebird Island. Bluebird Island is on the planet Demeter, which in my universe is the fourth planet of the star Vega, the first star discovered to have some form of solar system by the International Space Telescope. So I just added a little more to it and made it more real. I haven't decided whether to paint her from front or back, but if I make a mistake with the face, wee little brush, where are my wee little brushes? Well, if I make a mistake with the face, then I can always turn it around and paint her from the back. Black paint. Oh, this runs good. This runs the best of any paint I used so far. Okay, where's a wee little brush? Skinny brush. There it is. I thought I had a skinnier brush than that. Yes, I do. This character I'm drawing is Grand Admiral Violet E. Bedford. The Grand Admiral of the Starfleet of the Federated Galactic Empire, successor to the United Federation of Planets. Now, Bluebird Island, which I'm painting here, comes from a Hank Snow song called "My Ship Set Sail for Bluebird Island and Slowly Drifted Out to Sea." Well, when all the other children were reading Little Women and Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, though I read those too. But of course, when you were a boy in the 1960s, you didn't read Little Women because they'd think you might have been gay. That's the way it was back then. That's a long time ago. And being gay is not acceptable then as it is now. But beyond that, well, when everyone else was reading children's books like What They Do and Miss Little Lulu and all that stuff, and all the other kids were reading comic books, I was reading Isaac Asimov. The science fiction of Isaac Asimov. I guess I probably introduced myself to it when I was in grade 3 or 4. And when everyone else wrote a story but introducing me and my world, I wrote a story about how some settlers had to flee a moon of Jupiter because a volcano was going to blow up and destroy the moon, blow the moon apart. So I wrote the story. Got a good writing for the story. Got a gold star from the teacher, and a visit from the child psychiatrist, Dr. Malcolm Beck. who suspected there was something wrong with me. I tell you, I attribute that to my Asperger's syndrome, which I didn't discover I had till I was 50 years old. Here I was, an extraordinary person, pretending to be ordinary all my life. The dinosaurs appear quite often in my story, in every story. What the dinosaurs do, they were cloned by the humans when the Earth was destroyed by the asteroid and the supernova of Eta Carinae, and of course aboard humankind's enemies who did administer the coup de grace to the planet by dropping gravity-fed bombs and completely resurfacing the planet so it didn't look like anything. But slowly the Earth evolved and became back. It took 800 million years, but the Earth kind of got back what it used to be. And the dinosaurs were cloned because humans liked the idea of dinosaurs. Sometimes it went back to time travel to get real dinosaurs and raise them in places like Jurassic Park. And the dinosaurs, in my story, they eat up the bad guys. That is corrupt fundamentalist preachers, greedy politicians, right-wing extremists, and some left-wing extremists, and many others.
To sail my ship of love along the moon.
Well, in my stories, as you notice, I always have a woman wearing the miniskirt and the bobby socks. And I'll tell you why that is. One thing, I'm a man, and I like short dresses. I have to admit that. But other thing is she's significant to show the younger generation and to show that the younger generation in the distant future are the same as they are now. Carefree, full of fun, and not caring about the way the universe goes because they do their own thing. The significance of the mini-skirted girdles I have is that I like the idea of girls in short dresses, and girls wore short dresses when I was in high school during the 1970s, and I really enjoyed it, typical of a male. I know this may sound male chauvinistic to some women, and I don't blame them, but it does help me establish that I'm a normal man with normal male desires, though I am technically a 64-year-old virgin. I have in my paintings an Abbey Road sort of theme story with four musicians at an intergalactic bluegrass festival crossing the road, which reminds me of the Beatles and their Abbey Road album. I'm a fan of the Beatles, and I especially like a song that keeps turning up on me. The real nowhere man sitting in this nowhere land. I always sing that song when I'm watching The Hobbit, and I sing that song when I'm watching The Hobbit, and I see Thorin the elven, the dwarf king sitting huddling around, hunkering down in the lonely mountain while his fat people are getting slaughtered by the orcs. The Bible is interesting to me because it was the first book I read. My mother read to me when I was much younger. And when my mother and I meet... Hello? No? Yeah. I don't know. Hi. Sterling. Sometimes my dreams are strange. Some people dream of the dead like my friend Sterling. Some people dream of other things. But sometimes I actually have in-universe dreams when I dream about living in the universe I created.
A broken heart dream was locked within. my heart to stay.
If I didn't thought it was extraordinary, I probably would have just gone on some ordinary. Well, I was basically just a woodcutter. I like diversity in the universe, and my universe has diversity. It has lots of people of color, men, women, everything.
The trade wind's there on Bluebird Island.
I'm an unknown artist who invented a new art genre, sci-fi folk art.
The treasured isle of